Our words today have the E making the previous vowel I make its long sound I. So we've got size, you can highlight these as we go, prize, capsize, invite and decide. Now you have learnt this before, it's just a revision one with longer and harder words. Down here we have words with silent T in them, so we've got rustle, nestle, trestle, moisten and mortgage. So mortgage means, it's Old French for a dead pledge, means you pledge to pay it back. Now if we have a look at what other things we've got in these words, now here we're actually using a Z for the Z sound at the end of these words, which is not all that common. Quite often we use SE, but remember these ones we're actually using the Z for that Z sound. In decide, you've got that long vowel there on the D, long E sound. And now the CI, the I is making the C make its soft sound S there. Rustle. Now if we have a stop consonant, and T is a stop consonant because it stops as soon as you say it, T, you can hear it, it doesn't continue. So if we have a stop consonant, we know we're always putting LE after a stop consonant on each of those. Now moisten, we've got the OI making the OI sound in the middle of a word, and then we've got that schwat ending. So even though you might say moisten, you know that it's going to be spelled EN at the end. Now mortgage has the silent T in the middle of it. You've got the OR controlled vowel there for the OR sound. And now you've got G in both its usages. So you've got hard G and soft G. So hard G where it says G and soft G where it says J. So the A-O-U-L-R will make the G say G, and E-I-O-Y will make the G say J, make it soft sound. And the reason we have G-E on the end here and not a J for the J sound is because English words cannot end with J, ever. So we commonly use GE. Now what do these words mean? So size means a measurement of an object. So you can see a big foot against a little foot. One is bigger in size than the other. A prize is a reward we get or we are given for doing something well, maybe being the best at it or the second best or the third best. Capsize means when a boat overturns. An invite is when we request someone's company or attendance at an event. Might be your birthday party, you send out invitations to invite them. Decide is to determine what to do. Rustle is a sound made by moving. You see a little bear playing in some leaves there and you could hear them rustling if you can imagine it. Nestle means to lie close to. A trestle could be a table, but it could also be a bench that we rest materials on, like wood or pipe, when we're building or making or fixing something. So it's something that carpenters or builders would use as well for making that, holding that material still while they work on it. Moisten means to dampen something, to make it a little bit wet. And a mortgage, as we said before, it's a death pledge, but really it's a loan. Today we use it as a loan for buying a property or a house. In these words, we've got the E making the previous vowel I make its long sound. So we've got size, prize, capsize, invite and decide. If you also have a look, you can see that we are using the Z for the Z sound in each of these words. Quite commonly in many words we use SE for the Z sound at the end of a word. Now down here we've got rustle, nestle, trestle, moisten and mortgage. We've got a silent T in them all. But the thing is, when you're working out whether to use L-E-E-L at the end of a word or I-L, if you have a stop consonant before an ul sound in a multisyllabic word, then you're going to use LE after it, even if that letter is silent. So T is a stop sound because it stops as soon as you say it, T, so therefore we know we add LE after those. Mortgage, once again you've got that GE at the end for the J sound, it's soft, the G soft sound J. Moisten, just be aware that you're putting EN on the end, and you do have that OI in the middle there as well. Okay, so you've got a crossword here to do. Do the easiest ones first and then go back and fill in the ones that you couldn't do initially. Then down here you have to fill in the gap with a list word, only 3 sentences for you to do. Then we've got some common sayings down here for you to tell us what they mean. So pick on someone your own size, what does that mean, and to rustle up a meal. You could probably guess what they mean, but you could also research them if you're not sure. Our words today have the E making the previous vowel I make its long sound. So we've got size, prize, capsize, invite and decide. You've also got the Z actually making the Z sound at the end of these first 3 words. Quite often we use SE for the Z sound at the end of a word. Now in the next set we've got rustle, nestle, trestle. We've got a stop consonant before that LE. So you might like to highlight that LE. So that tells us if we have a stop consonant, so stop consonant T, stops as soon as we say it, so we know it's a stop consonant. Even if it's silent in these words, we still recognise the sound that it commonly makes. So we know that we have to add LE after a stop consonant. Now moisten, you've got the OI in the middle of moist, and then we're adding the schwat sound at the end. You have to know to write EN there. Mortgage, you've got the silent T. The G at the end is making, because it has the E after it, it's making it soft sound J, because we can't have English words end in J ever. So we use the GE for the J sound at the end of a word. Now here you just have to rewrite the list word and then cross out the antonym. So that's a little bit different. Fill in the gap with a list word or extension. So just be aware you may have to add to some of these base words to make the word appear in its correct form in these sentences. Down here we've got verb families. We're adding the S, the ing and the ed. Now you know if a word ends in E and you're adding ing, E goes away when ing comes to stay. When you're adding the ed, if the E's already there, you know you don't have to add another E. You just simply add the D. And with the adding the S, it's simply adding the S. So mortgage is, you're hearing the is at the end, where we know we usually write ES when we hear is at the end of a word, whereas here the E's already there, so you only have to add the S. Today's work is on commas and coordinating conjunctions. So the super comma to the rescue. Does she want to eat me or eat with me? Let's eat Grandpa. So because there's no comma in there, it sounds like Grandma is going to eat Grandpa. So you have to insert a comma after a verb if the word that follows is not the object of that verb. So let's eat spaghetti. Let's eat Grandpa. Let's eat spaghetti. Let's eat Grandpa. So you can hear the difference with the comma in there. Add the super comma and save lives. So let's read it without the comma. We're going to learn to cut and paste kids. Mum has set the kettle to boil Grandma. Sharpen the knife before you use it to slice Billy. Don't forget to eat Sarah. So the comma becomes very important because otherwise the meaning is changed. So here we now have some compound sentences. So most cats hate water. There's a comma. And then we're inserting the coordinating conjunction yet. Mine loves it. Most cats hate water, yet mine loves it. So we've got an independent clause, a coordinating conjunction, independent clause, coordinating conjunction, and then another independent clause. So complete the compound sentences by inserting a comma and then adding a coordinating conjunction. So here are your 7 coordinating conjunctions. You've got for, and, nor, but, or, yet. So you've got to use those words to finish this, this passage by putting one of those coordinating conjunctions into each of the spaces. So don't forget to go back here too and put your commas in so that these sentences give the reader the message that they should be receiving.